So this story is blowing up on TikTok right now. There's this girl named Alex Sunny, and she's moving to Afghanistan for a man she met on Snapchat. Oh my God, there's so many layers to this. Yes, Snapchat. Do with that what you will. This whole story starts when her husband's visa application to move to the United States to be with her is denied. Now, under this current administration, a lot of people's visas have been denied. There have been a lot of immigration restrictions lately. So this is through no fault of their own. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. That's not really relevant to this story, though. They spent a lot of money on this application, though. She estimates around $1,000 to $1,500. Ooh. While she was waiting for her husband to travel to Pakistan to have his visa interview there, because there is no U.S. embassy in Afghanistan. We will talk about that later. But while that was happening, while she was waiting for that, it ended up coming out that all U.S. visa applications for Afghani immigrants were being denied. This happened in December of 2025. Now, she was between a rock and a hard place. She was like, I'm half Jordanian. My dad's full Jordanian, so I have Jordanian citizenship. We could go to Jordan, but nah, I don't want to do another immigrant application. I don't want to do all that. Let me just move to Afghanistan. We'll talk about why that's a stupid idea later. And it's not xenophobia. So like I was saying, they met on Snapchat in 2024. And I gotta be honest, I don't really know how people meet on Snapchat. Maybe it's just been a while since I've used Snapchat. But when I was using it, it was just like my Instagram friends and people I knew in real life. I didn't really add people I didn't know. Maybe things have changed. Maybe the landscape of Snapchat has changed. Let me know. I can't really fathom meeting someone on Snapchat. Anyway, she's a truck driver in the United States, so she has all of the time in the world to talk on the phone, and talk she did. She was talking to him for 12 to 15 hours at a time. My God, that's just too long in my opinion. Eventually, they did end up meeting in person months later in Pakistan. But they only met one time, and they have been long distance ever since.
So we actually met on Snapchat in July of 2024, and we didn't meet IRL until December of 2024. So at first I wasn't actually looking for a relationship, but we exchanged WhatsApp numbers anyways. I'm a truck driver, so of course I could yap all day long, and he was just really somebody that was easy to talk to. When I say talk, I mean we talked for 12 to 15 hours a day, like probably even more than that.
I don't know when they got married within that timeline. She hasn't really shared that. But her move date to Afghanistan was supposed to be August 17th. And I say was supposed to be because she actually ended up moving it up to August 3rd. She couldn't wait to live in Afghanistan. So she's been sharing her entire story on TikTok, her entire journey to move to Afghanistan. And all of the comments are up in arms about her potential future safety, saying, girl, don't do it. It's too dangerous. You don't know about all the laws there. And in response, she says, well, I've been to Chicago.
I really like this comment because it reminded me of a time when I went to Chicago with friends. We took the wrong exit and we were immediately pulled over by police, and we were told to leave the area because it was too dangerous. So yeah, do what you will with that info.
Right. So let's talk about Afghanistan and why people are freaking out. Now, I'm not freaking out because this is entirely her choice. She's fucking around. She's finding out. That's up to her, that she can do whatever she wants. So Afghanistan has a level 4 travel advisory from the U.S. State Department. That is the highest possible level, up there with North Korea. A level 4 travel advisory means do not travel for any reason. Out of 225 countries listed by the U.S. State Department, only 23 have a level 4 travel advisory. Every level 4 is evaluated every 6 months to determine if it's still a level 4. The U.S. State Department defines level 4 travel advisories as the highest advisory level due to life-threatening risks. The U.S. government may have very limited or no ability to help, including during an emergency. We advise that U.S. citizens do not travel to the country or leave as soon as possible. To put it into perspective, the other country that she could have moved to, Jordan, because she's a dual citizen of Jordan, that was a level 2 up until very recently. Now it's a level 3, but a level 2 was on par with like Belgium. Now they're a level 3 due to the war in Iran. Now this isn't my first rodeo. Actually, one of my favorite things to do to relax is to take a gummy and scroll through the U.S. State Department's travel advisory website. I'm not joking. I do this for fun. I did this before the video. I would do it again gladly, and I was having a blast. I'm so serious. I love that website. I don't even know why. I can't even recommend it. I don't even think it's fun. So here's what the U.S. Department of State has to say for Afghanistan as a whole. Do not travel to Afghanistan for any reason. We urge American citizens in Afghanistan to leave immediately. And their reasonings are unrest, crime, health, kidnapping or hostage taking, terrorism, wrongful detention, natural disasters. Yeah. So the United States does not have an embassy in Afghanistan, which poses a lot of problems for people who want to come into the country. It essentially means that your country cannot help you. If there's a disaster, if you're in a crisis, if you need a passport or a visa, or you have some problems, you cannot be helped by your own country. We actually suspended our embassy in Afghanistan because it was too dangerous, and that happened in 2021. If something happens to you, your government cannot help you and will not help you because the Taliban will not allow it. That's right, the Taliban won't even allow the United States to check in with detainees over the phone. That's really important because if you're a U.S. national in Afghanistan, you are already targeted for wrongful detention. U.S. citizens are also specifically targeted for kidnapping and hostage taking. And again, the U.S. cannot really help you. Conditions in Afghanistan are so severe that the United States State Department recommends that if you still want to travel there despite all of their warnings, that you plan your funeral, share it with your family, and draft a will. That alone would scare me into not going. And we haven't even brushed on women's rights in Afghanistan. There was a time when women in Afghanistan had plenty of rights. They were allowed to vote, they were allowed to go to college, they were allowed to be professors. That is not the case anymore. Women do not have freedom of movement. You cannot go anywhere without either your husband or a blood relative. Wearing a burqa is mandatory, and that's not the same as a hijab. It's kind of like a niqab, except it has like a mesh covering over the head, so your face is entirely covered. You cannot show your ankles, you cannot show your hair. In 2024, the Taliban released the Virtue and Vice laws. They restricted women even further to the point where women were not allowed to raise their voice in public. I quote, "No stranger should hear a woman's voice. You are not allowed to raise your voice in public, talk, sing, read poetry. You can't be heard. You cannot go on your balcony as a woman. You are not allowed to be photographed as a woman. You cannot ride a bicycle or a motorcycle as a woman. All street-level windows are painted over in case a woman is existing in her own home. You are not allowed to be gainfully employed as a woman, with few very heavily restricted exceptions. Very minor freedoms that we take for granted are heavily restricted in Afghanistan. And she's signing up for this. Now, if you're wondering about women's rights in Jordan, again, of which she is a dual citizen and she totally could have moved to instead, things are comparatively so much better. Women can hold office, women don't have to cover their hair, they can go to college. Of course, more progress could be made, but in comparison to Afghanistan, things are night and day. Now let's go back to the subject of our video, Alex Sunny. I went through all of her videos and I have some miscellaneous findings. First thing, and this is pretty minor, but I just wanted to bring it up. She has her husband write her grocery lists for her. Now, I don't know if this is controlling. A lot of commenters took issue with this because they're like, this is the first sign of control. I don't know. I don't know why, though. Why? He lives in another country. Why is he writing your grocery list? Just write your own grocery list, girl. But I'll let you be the judge of that. Secondly, she keeps buying gifts for her in-laws, things like makeup and perfume and things that I don't think that they can get in Afghanistan. I don't know if this was expected or customary for her to do, but she bought them a ton of stuff. She also bought a lot of kids' toys and playthings, and on that note, a lot of commenters seem to be confused and think that she has children, which she has clarified she does not have any children. I'm assuming these are for like nieces and nephews and such.
Okay, so this comment threw me because where did this come from? Like, I don't have children. I've never had children. I don't know where this comment came from.
Third thing, and this is kind of hilarious, she was asked if she would continue updating her social media once she moves to Afghanistan, and she was like, yeah, there are tons of influencers from Afghanistan. Yeah, I don't see why that would be a problem. Girl, TikTok is banned there. It's been banned. I don't know where the hell you're gonna post. As of filming, she is heading to Afghanistan in less than a month. And seemingly nothing is going to stop her. But trust that she has been sufficiently warned, so we're in the find out stage of the fucking around. I wish her the best. I wish this is rage bait. I think this is insanely stupid, but you know, she's not gonna stop. She's still gonna be there. Look, I've seen 90 Day Fiance. I know how this story ends. I know that she's gonna go there no matter what, no matter how many people tell her it's a bad idea. She's still gonna go. She's gonna live with her husband and she's gonna be miserable, but she's gonna have to find out about that later. But I really hope this is rage bait. I really hope this is rage bait. If anything positive has come from this, it's really just illuminated the lack of women's rights in Afghanistan. Thank you for raising awareness, girl. Wish her the best. I hope nothing too bad happens to her. I think this is insanely stupid considering that there are other places she can go. Just go somewhere else. Just go somewhere else. But what about you? Do you support their marriage? Do you think this is a good idea? Would you co-sign on this if you were her parents? Let me know in the comments. Also, 96% of you are not subscribed. Please change that. It's really hurtful. Anyway, I'm gonna go. It was nice talking to you. Bye.